For weeks, people have been asking me, talk about Melody, talk about MelodyOficial3. And my response was just like, who? Turns out MelodyOficial3 is an Instagram model. I put that in quotes. I don't know, anybody can be an Instagram model if you have enough followers, I guess. Everyone's an influencer. So she's amassed around 3.1 million followers on Instagram, and she posts photos like this. Now, I'm not normally one to hate on posting revealing photos. I've done it myself, but the difference is age. A lot of it. She is controversial in particular because she's, guess how old? 11. Now, YouTubers have already covered this topic, so I avoided it, but something's different now. Her account is no more. And we'll get into this later. I don't know if she deleted it herself or deactivated it, or if Instagram decided to step in and take it down, but it's gone. Photos like this would be on her Instagram, and the comments would all be asking her if she's had a boob job at 11, I know. It would be guys telling her how beautiful she was, and if you clicked on their profiles, a lot of them were older men. In the brief conversations I've had about this with people, the immediate response is always to call me out and say, well, you post scandalous things on Instagram. Well, the difference is, like I said, age. When I posted this photo, I was in my late 20s. She's 11. Recently, a hashtag on Instagram has been trending called the 10-year challenge, where you post a photo of yourself 10 years ago and one now to see the difference. This is mine. It's kind of embarrassing. I know I don't look like the same person. I had a tan at one point. Now, unfortunately, I know we're all disappointed. Melody didn't get the chance to post her 10-year challenge, so I made one for her. Wow, look at that transformation. Fun fact about the 11-year-old girl. She became famous because of her dad, which is a singer. He made her twerk when she was 8 in his show. Then the video became viral and the government almost took her away from him. Maybe they should have. So I went in search of this video and I found it. Keep in mind, she's 8. Yeah, it's difficult for me to watch this, knowing how old she is, knowing the influence her dad must have had on her to make her feel like this was appropriate for someone her age. And what you saw was pretty bad, and you'd think, hey, it can't get worse than that, right? It did. Why she wasn't taken away from him at this point completely blows my mind. I don't understand. I'm not a mom yet, but whenever I see shit like this, I just want to take these children and be like, come here, I will show you what a loving home should be like. Stay away from your creepy, negligent, abusive parents and just sit over there and watch cartoons. Please, I'll bring you cereal, you'll go to school, you'll learn things like math and science, and this new concept called clothing and how to wear more of it. And another thing that completely baffles me is that for the longest time this was going on and no one seemed to have a problem with it until very recently. She would show up in her local news with things like, oh, she dyed her hair blonde, how amazing is that? And oh my God, do you think she has implants? On the news. This article's like, hey, look, she grew up. Look how great she grew up. She's 11. It says after she became a target on the internet, she decided to move away from the spotlights for a while. Back in business, the 11-year-old has recently come back fresh and looking for success. Blonde with a more glamorous look. Ugh, I can't. I don't even want to read this shit. How are they talking about this? Like it's a normal thing. Like, she came back. She was away for a while, but this 11-year-old's just back in business with a new hair color. We're just gonna ignore that she's 11 and wearing a bra in this picture, that's fine. She went to a Halloween party wearing this. It's like lingerie. Great. Where is her mother, you might ask? Well, we'll get to that later. The singer, MC Melody, 11, enjoyed a costume party on Tuesday night and updated their social networks with clips of their costumes. Okay, so this was a website that was translated, by the way, so forgive the poor English on here, but it says, dressed as a devil, Melody was not well received by the fans who crowded her publication with criticism directed at her parents. Well, shocking. In Instagram, the artist has published a series of videos and photos in which she shows the red fantasy, even comparing it with that of her sister, Bella, 13, who attended the party characterized as a princess. Now, Bella's another girl on Instagram, same thing, over-sexualized, really creepy, being exploited by her dad, and I looked into it, her account also gone, so that's kind of interesting. Her dad's account, however, is still standing, and if you had any question about his character, I don't know, this picture kind of sums it up. He looks like a real winner. Not to point out something that really is the least of our concern right now, but I kind of wonder if he has 2 daughters with millions and millions of followers on Instagram and YouTube and all these other social media platforms. How does he only have 123,000 followers? It's like not transferring over very well. And the reason why I bring that up is because I feel like he's exploiting his daughters. Obviously, he's making bank from it, but I also think it's to promote his own music, since he himself is a singer, songwriter, whatever musician he wants to do. So he's using his kids to kind of push his own career, but it doesn't look like it's working out very well. And I've heard the saying, a punchable face, many times in my life, but nothing quite captures it like this. Douche. Now for the mother. Yesterday was the first day she actually commented on the situation. And I read through a lot of different things about her, and my bullshit meter was just going off the entire time. I don't believe her. But I'm gonna read through some of this anyway, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. MC Melody's mother blames her father for sexualization of daughters. He never listened to me. Despite living with her daughter, she says she's always been prevented from interfering with the girls' careers. I don't know. I don't buy it. If you have kids that are being sexualized, that are being exploited, you don't say, well, I don't know. I don't really know what I could have done, or I couldn't have, or their father said I couldn't, or they didn't want me to. It's like, be a mom, be an adult in the situation, and step in and do something. I would not put up with any of that shit for a second. And allowing your children to be subjected to that is on you. I've never been in favor. I've always been against it. I complained when they wore short clothes. I don't know. That's not enough. It wasn't enough. Gloria says she was always prevented from interfering with her daughter's careers. The children are against me because the father supports everything they do and I do not. They say that if their career ends, it's my fault. My daughters are not emotionally well. I always felt blackmailed. Sometimes when you take candy away from children, they cry. If they're mad at you, then they're mad at you. Who gives a shit? Be a mom. So my opinion aside, stepping back, we remember her cute little Halloween outfit, right? Well, this is her mom. Yeah, duck face and all. I don't know. For some reason, this picture doesn't really scream her caring about her daughter's skirt being short, or the fact that she's wearing lingerie to a party with a bunch of adults. Doesn't really look like she's all that bothered to me. I've always been against it. I complained when they wore short clothes. I heard a lot of people in this conversation saying that kids that are 11 shouldn't even have Instagram. I don't know how I feel about that. I really wouldn't mind my kids being on social media. I would probably monitor it, but I would also make sure that they wore clothes. Now this brings me back to kind of wondering whether or not their accounts going down yesterday was a matter of them deleting their own account or deactivating their account for a time being because they're under a lot of heat right now, or if Instagram decided to step in and actually do something. I really hope it was Instagram stepping in, because this is long overdue. This should not have been going on for this long. I mean, Instagram is so picky about the types of photos people post. If they see a nipple, they flag things because God forbid you show a nipple. I'm not trying to argue against that, but if you're gonna be policing people's photos like that, then why don't you have a problem with an 11-year-old girl wearing lingerie? So shame on you, Instagram, if this takedown wasn't a move on your part, and I have a feeling it wasn't, because there are still like tons of other really young girls doing the same shit. This girl, Danielle Cohn, has been doing a lot of the same thing. She almost has 3 million followers. She's like, I think 14. Some people actually corrected me and said 12. I don't know, I think it's 14. I looked into it, but there's a lot of conspiracy theories about it. I don't give a shit enough to look. Even if she is 14, this is a weird picture. Who is this guy? Why are they so close? That's kind of weird. And also, it's not like she just created her account, so she was like 13 or 12 whenever it started, and the pictures have always been like this. I mean, here's her on the beach with the bikini. And by the way, all her photos are so poorly photoshopped. It's a little embarrassing, and people notice. All the comments are like Photoshop, Photoshop, Photoshop. So because of that, I don't think it was a move on Instagram's part. I think they took down their own accounts because it was her and her sister at the same time, which is really disappointing. So disappointing. I mean, social networks, you guys know, like YouTube with their demonetization, Facebook bans people all the time, Twitter's been banning people, Instagram gets mad if things are too inappropriate, but something like this can slide? What is the world that we live in? It's just disgusting. I felt so grossed out with her photos. I felt grossed out with that video. So much of it just feels so wrong, and it's amazing that I even find myself sitting here able to talk about this going on without it already have been taken care of. And then you have other young girls that are looking at these girls as role models, and you see them doing that kind of thing. So if you see accounts like this, bring it up, send me a link, I'll message Instagram, you can message Instagram or Twitter or wherever you see these kinds of things. I don't know, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Let me know if you think this kind of thing is appropriate. At what age do you think kids should be allowed on social media or allowed to post photos like that on social media? And do you believe the mother or do you think she's full of shit like I do? Leave a comment. Like this video if you liked it. A big thank you to everyone supporting me on Patreon. Like I said, demonetization is still running pretty strong on my channel, so I could not be doing this without all of you. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!